You just tuned it in. Global and worldwide. Hitting you on the one with no delay. Because it's the Fighter's Voice. The Fighter's Voice. With your fighting host, Richard Ortiz. And the formidable co-host, Mr. Cole Escovedo. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
Fresno, California. We're live here in Mad Production Studios. We got a great show for you today. First of all, this is Rich Ortiz, your host of The Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. We got a great show for you this evening. With us, our guest, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say it real slow so we can anticipate, just like the way it was done last Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today, the WBA Junior Bantamweight Champion of the world, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Joshua El Profesor Franco. Welcome to the show. How we doing, Joshua?
Thank you. Good. How are you guys?
Well, I'm doing good, man. I mean, not as good as you are. I mean, your whole world has changed, my man. First of all, congratulations, man, on a great performance last Tuesday. ESPN, top-ranked boxing, Golden Boy's own Joshua, the Professor Franco, took over the show.
Thank you for the support.
You know, you're very soft-spoken, you're very humble, and you know, you even got a side to you that's very shy, man. But, you know, your whole life has changed for the better. Now the whole world gets to know exactly what Mr. Franco was all about. And I'm talking about your story, your brother, and making the move all the way from your hometown and coming down to Riverside, Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. I remember the first time that I met you there, you said there's no sparring or training anywhere in the whole world like Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. Do you remember that first encounter, the first time we spoke?
Yes, sir, of course. Right there in Riverside, I remember seeing you. You came, I believe from Fresno. And I remember meeting you the first time.
Yeah, both you and your brother. And I remember the Super Bowl was about to start, and we were talking about, you know, our teams, the Cowboys. And, you know, we didn't make the playoffs, but you were focused, and you had just come off a victory. You were looking good that I think it was 2 Saturdays ago before I walked in the gymnasium there, the boxing gym. And you were there, and you said, you know what, I'm here to watch all this good sparring. And we started talking about the sparring and the training at Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I remember seeing you after my fight in January, I believe. Yeah, I remember talking to you about, you know, me, you, and my brother all talking about all the good work, you know, that Robert had in the gym.
But you know what, I mean, let me tell you this. Robert can offer all the good work in the world, have all the tools, have everything, but at the end of the day, it's all up to the fighter himself, which is you. You have all the tools, and all that you were wishing for and hoping for was the opportunity. You got that opportunity, and you made great. You did well, my man. I mean, my line has been going off of a lot of people that have been reaching out with questions and comments for you, and we're going to address that as the show goes. But let me ask you this, man. Did you ever in your wildest dreams think that you would be this point right now today, where you're at today in your career? Did you think that would happen as fast and quickly as it happened for you, becoming WBA Junior Bantamweight Champion of the world?
Honestly, no, I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. You know, I thought it was going to be, you know, another year, you know, 2 years. And sure, you know, so, you know, I just kept on working. But no, I didn't expect it for it to come this fast. But, I mean, hey, it happened, and you know, now I'm the world champ.
I want to ask you this, man, before we get into the whole fight itself. The very next day when you woke up early in the morning, man, I mean, when you slid out of bed, getting ready to put your shoes on or brush your teeth or wash up, man, what was that feeling, man? What was that feeling like knowing, hey, I'm the champ of the world?
It was just a great feeling. Words can't describe how I felt waking up the next morning. I barely even slept the night before. You know, after my fight, I was on my phone the whole time. You know, I didn't want to go to sleep yet. I wanted to enjoy that win and that night, you know, with my family. But, you know, waking up the next morning, it was just, you know, a great feeling knowing that I'm down.
Talk to us about when you first got the news that you were going to be fighting for the belt. I mean, who got the call? Was it you, or was it your trainer Robert, or was it something you guys did as a team? You guys were both informed. Tell us when you got that call, and what was your mindset going into this fight?
Yeah, my Robert had called my dad, to tell him about the fight. He asked us, what do we think about it? And, right away I said yes. Me and my dad, we both agreed to it. And I got my ticket out to Riverside the next day. And, I was training out there in Cali, the day after, that I got the call. So, yeah, I got the call. Robert informed us, and we took it.
How was that training? Was it just, did you put it up a notch? Was he a little more intense, knowing that you're fighting for your dream?
Of course, training was, the hardest training camp I've ever had. It was the best shape I had ever been in. I felt really good, with the sparring, with training. I trained my ass off, 110% in the gym. I was so confident going into the fight because I know how hard I train in the gym. I loved everything in the gym.
You did. What was that first conversation like when Robert said, okay, we got the fight, we're fighting for the belt, this is what we need to do? How was that conversation?
Robert just told me that, we had a great chance against his opponent, Andrew Maloney. Robert said that he's seen footage on him, and, he's seen a lot of mistakes that he made, a lot of errors that he did, and, that we were gonna expose those things, and, we were just real confident when we got the call for the fight. And even throughout training camp, I was looking good in sparring and training, and we were just confident going into the fight.
I know those first 4 rounds, man, they were very intense. And I was even thinking to myself, I said, okay, he has to turn it on right now. Because I knew you were kind of waiting. He wasn't dominating you, but he was having the success that he usually has with the jab, the lateral movement, even the body shots. You were still in there, and yet you were still trying to counter him and yet take the initiative yourself those first 4 rounds. But round number 5, you started taking over the show. And I'm not saying you gave the first 4 away, because I had you winning. There were those first 4 were close, but from the 5th on, man, you started going forward with your game plan.
Yeah, I was just, the first couple of rounds, I was just trying to, fill him out, get his timing, get his rhythm down, and, see what he did off of my feints, off of my jabs, just to see, what kind of fighter he was going to be that night. So I was trying to fill him out, and, little by little, I was going to start picking my shots and start picking him apart, once I got his timing down and all his rhythm moves and everything.
You beat a solid champion. I mean, Andrew Maloney, he's no cakewalk. He's solid. He's solid going in. And, you went there the whole 12 rounds, man. In that 8th round, I mean, it was one of your best rounds. You started landing your punches at will, and you started to take over the fight. What was going through your mind in that 11th round, which was, I call it the game changer, because, and we'll talk about the scorecards later on in the show, scoring that knockdown, and possibly it could have been a knockout had you had enough time to put your punches together and finish him off. What was going through your mind as soon as you scored that knockdown in the 11th round?
I was just, in my mind thinking, I was going to go for the kill. The guy's done. He looks drained. He looks beat up, and I broke him down already. So in my mind, I was, trying to finish him off. But he was a world champion. He has his tricks. He knows how to survive. So, he was a world champion for a reason, so he ended up surviving. And it was just a tough, great fight, but, I learned a lot from it.
Okay, the bell rings. 12th round's about to happen. The championship rounds is what they call them. What advice was Robert giving you inside that corner? Getting ready to go in for the 12th round. Yes, sir, going in for the 12th.
Yeah, going into the 12th round, Robert was telling me he was asking how I feel. I told him that, I felt good, that I wasn't tired, and that I still felt strong. So he said, okay, let's go for the kill, then let's try and finish this guy off and try to end it with a stoppage. So I said, okay. So, I come out, Maloney, he, like I said, he knows his tricks, he knows how to survive, and he ended up surviving the 12th round. But, I felt dominated that last round. And, I was trying to get him out of there. I was trying my best, but I just couldn't.
Well, hey, to his credit, I mean, he was a champion for a reason. I mean, 12 rounds, like I said, he wasn't just somebody who inherited the belt. I mean, Maloney is solid. His brother's a very good fighter as well, too, and we're going to talk about that later on. Now, when the judges read the scorecards, and I'll tell you what I had it personally, when they had it 114-113, and another judge had it 114-113, one judge had it 115-112, and to be honest with you, that's exactly what I had it. I had it 115-112. In your favor, of course. Now, it tells me that if you wouldn't have scored that knockdown, this thing could have been a draw.
Yep.
Very close.
No, yeah,
Go ahead, sir.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's true. You know, I mean, thank God I got the knockdown, because if not, it would have been a draw. You know, for the fight, and that would have been, you know, really disappointing. But either way, besides the knockdown, I feel like I was dominating the fight. But you know, it being a top ranked card, and he was a top ranked fighter. He was the world champion, undefeated. You know, they were gonna try to favor him as much as they could. But you know, thank God I got the knockdown, and I feel like that knockdown was what won me the fight.
Well, I'm grateful, and so are you, that the judges got it right. They got it right. The winner was announced the right person. And I read that Robert told you, hey, we're coming home with the belt. When did Robert make that statement? Before the fight was announced, during the fight, or during the reading of the scorecards?
It was before the fight and during the fight. I remember in the sixth round, I came back to the corner after the sixth, and Robert told me 6 more rounds and you're world champion. He kept telling me that after the 6th round, and you know, he kept motivating me. And you know, with him telling me that, you know, I knew that I had to finish strong. You know, he motivated me. It gave me the extra fire, and you know, I just listen to whatever Robert says, because I know that he's saying the right thing. So, I mean, you know, he just kept me motivated throughout the whole fight.
You know what amazes me, and I'm not to go off subject, I don't know why anybody would not listen to what Robert says. I mean, the man's been there. He's been on both sides of the corner, and what he says comes to path and is gold. If there's ever any trainer that you're ever going to listen to and trust, is the Hall of Famer himself, Robert Garcia.
Of course, yes, sir.
Now, tell us, we talked about motivation. How much of a part of the team and a part of that puzzle was knowing that your brother was there? He couldn't go inside, but he was outside there rooting for you. And I watched some content that I believe Ali Setback had put together, the emotion between you and your brother and how strong that bond is. Talk to us about that relationship and how it's changed now that you're a world champion.
Yeah, me and my brother, we've always been close. You know, we have a really great bond. You know, we're both in this sport, you know, and we know the sacrifices, how hard we have to work. And, you know, just our bond is just unbreakable. You know, nobody could break it. You know, me and all my brothers, we all have, you know, love for each other. You know, I mean, that's just how it should be. You know, with brothers, you know, we should all look out for each other. And, you know, love each other, but, you know, we always have each other's back. So, you know, winning that world title and, you know, my brother telling me that I'm his role model, that he can talk to me, it makes me feel good inside, you know, knowing that I can show him, look, like, hey, anything's possible. And all you gotta do is work hard and believe in yourself, and it's gonna happen. So, you know, my brother seen me, you know, win a lot.
You know, you were a big underdog going into that fight. Then all of a sudden, the last 2 days, man, it shifted. The money started coming in on Franco. The believers, everybody started, you know, the talks of he's looking good at camp. He's no pushover. Robert Garcia, he doesn't just bring anything to the table. He brings fireworks. And you know as well as I know, I mean, there's nothing but dogs at Robert Garcia's boxing academy.
Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, you know, nothing but good work at the gym. And, you know, I'm blessed for that. Grateful for all that hard work and all the experience that, you know, Robert has given me.
Hey, don't let Robert slip away that easy, because he has a van that says Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy, and all the world champions go on there. So that sticker, your name needs to go on that van. You know which van I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and we talked about that before the fight too. How we were gonna add my name on the van. So hopefully that happens.
And it's going to happen. I also got a sticker to slide up on there too myself, man. That's a whole different story.
Okay.
That's a whole different story, baby. The fighter's voice, the only voice that matters. Now we're going to move along,
sir.
And we're going to have some fun, man. This is going to be on you.
All right.
Now listen, man, you're in the driver's seat. Now you get to sit back and you get to enjoy the cake. You get to enjoy your options. You get to enjoy the show. But there has to be somebody on your radar, man. I mean, I know I want you to enjoy this belt, enjoy your victory, but I mean, I'm going to ask that $1 million question, and then we're going to go down some questions and comments that are coming from the fans and followers and supporters of the Professor. Who's on your radar? Right. Who's on your radar? Who's next, and why?
Look, of course I have, you know, but the big fighters on my radar. I have Chocolatito, I have Gallo Estrada, and I have German and Cajas. Those are my main guys on the radar. I would love to fight and unify with any of those guys. And you know, they would all be great fights. But you know, those are the three main ones that are on my radar. And you know, I know that Ancajas is with Top Rank, and you know, I just fought on the Top Rank card, and that would just be a great fight to make, and you know, a great fight for the fans and to unify.
I agree with you, and you know what? Let me tell you this: Sean Gibbons, who's in German Ancajas' corner, handles all his affairs, his training, his management, what have you. First of all, he told me tell him I said congratulations, and I look forward to him and Jerwin unifying in a big fight soon. How does that make you feel when you hear that?
Yeah, it excites me. You know, it just makes me feel good. You know, just that I'm even in the talks with, you know, big names like Ancajas, you know, who has a world title, who defended his world title. It just feels good, and you know, I would be up for that fight as well.
I mean, just imagine this. I mean, what if the fight took place in the Philippines? I mean, how exciting would that be?
That would be really exciting. You know, Philippines is one of the hotbeds for fighters. You know, they don't back down. They have that heart, and they love boxing.
What if it was in your hometown of San Antonio?
That would be even better. You know, defending my world title and unifying against a fighter like Ancajas in San Antonio. You know, in front of my family, my friends. You know, in front of my hometown, it would be great.
Hey, man, that's not far-fetched. I can see that happening pretty soon, because if Sean Gibbons mentioned your name in a sentence, I mean, you got to remember, he's a businessman, and he knows opportunity, and he knows how to put great things together. Along with him and Robert Garcia, I'm sure they're going to have a great conversation. Just the fact that was brought up, you're already in the mix, my man.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, for him to bring me up like that, and you know, it's just crazy that now that I'm one of the big dogs in the division, and
that's
you know,
right.
I belong here, and I'm going to keep my title, and you know, if that fight happens, I'll be more than ready.
There you go. I got another question. It's a question. It's coming in from let me read. It's from Lalo's Boxing. It said, okay, here's one of them. Is Estrada or Chocolatito, are they on your immediate radar if you don't get the Ancajas fights?
Of course, Chocolatito and García, those are, you know, both great fights for me. They'll be great fights for the fans. You know, to unify, you know, it'll be great. And you know, they're both great fighters, but I just feel like nobody could beat me right now at this weight class.
Now, are you willing, if Top Rank says, okay, we have something in the contract, it's be mandated, let's run it back. Are you willing to run back a rematch?
Yeah, well, we have a rematch clause with Andrew Maloney. He wanted the rematch clause. And, you know, but I know that he had, you know, his eardrums are busted up, yeah. And I don't know if he had like a broken nose or whatever. I know he took, you know, some serious punishment, and I don't know how long it's going to take to recover from all that stuff, but I mean, I have to defend my title, but, you know, we'll see what happens with everything.
No, you're ready to go. I know, you're ready to go. I mean, just your mindset and everything. You know, it's unfortunate. And, you know, our prayers go out there. And he did make it the very next day. He did get checked out for precaution reasons. And, yeah, there was some injury that took place. I mean, it was a dogfight, and he showed the heart of a champion. And when do you think you'll be ready to come back in that ring?
You know, just I'll be ready at any time. You know, couple to a few months. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm always, you know, working no matter what. And you know, as soon as they call me, you know, I'll be more than ready.
There you go. Now, I got another question. Well, no, here's just from Gabriel Flores and Gabriel Flores Sr. He said, tell him we said congratulations and we're proud of him.
A shout out to Gabriel Flores and his son. You know, I watched them. I watched their fight, and they look really good. You know, congrats to them as well, and thank you for the support, guys.
There you go. Also, we have who do we have? Oh, Golden Boy Matchmaker, Roberto Diaz. He says, when I see him, I got a big hug for him. Tell him I said I'm so proud of him. He's evidence that hard work pays off. And everybody at Golden Boy, they're proud of you.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate the support. You know, like we talked already, appreciate for everything that you and the team did for me, for backing me up, for believing in me, and it's just the beginning. And thank you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.
There you go. Now, Cutman Mike Rodriguez, who works the corner of Manny Pacquiao, he said, tell him I said personally I'm proud of him, and us at War Tape, we're proud and we're glad that we can add him on our champions list. Much respect.
Shout out to Mike Rodriguez. Thank you for the support, bro. Shout out to War Tape for the support, and Mike Rodriguez is a good person. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
And Golden Boys Marketing, Ernest Gabion, he's proud of you.
Shout out, to Ernie. Thank you for all the support, Ernie, for always taking care of me and my brother, and just thank you for everything.
I mean, when you hear this, and I'm not going to sit here and read the rest of them, man, but that's half the show. When you hear these people and knowing that they're embracing you and they're in your corner, because you got to remember you were an underdog going into that fight, and now you're the champion. How does that make you feel, knowing that, hey, you can just might as well just call yourself the people's champion? How does that title sound?
It feels really good, having all the support, from my team Golden Boy, from people like Gabriel Flores, from Mike Rodriguez, and I'm sure there's many more, and it just makes me feel good, to be world champion, and just to have all the support, and it just feels great.
Hey, this question just came in right now, and it said, hey, Richard, if you don't mention him, mean you got a problem. Isidro Ochoa, stablemate, he said, hey, make sure you tell him that's my dog. We're going to eat some Doritos later and barbecue, and we're going to have a good time. Congratulations, champ.
Shout out to my boy Isidro. What's up, bro? I'll see you soon, and thank you for the support.
There you go, man. Now, I want to ask you this, man. Okay, the smoke is about to clear. Okay, we got that paycheck. You put the work in. You got the bout. What's the first thing Mr. Franco's going to do with a little bit of his cash? Are we going to buy some shoes, a watch? We're going to save a little bit? What are we going to do? We going to the mall? We're going to order online? What are we doing?
Nah, you know what? I'm gonna take my family out to a nice dinner. When we can. But for now, just enjoy time with my family. Save my money, spend it wisely, and just hope for the best, and just remain positive. Always working hard.
There you go, man. So what did Robert say? Hey, you know what? Take some weeks off, take some days off, relax a little bit. Free your mind, do some things. What advice did he give you?
He just told me that now that I have the title, it's gonna be even harder to keep the title. So he motivated me by saying that, and he told me just to take a little bit of time off, relax, enjoy myself, and get right back to work.
Let's talk about that relationship. Do you remember the first time you walked in those gym doors and met Robert Garcia and you started training with him?
Yes, it was the first time I met Robert was in Oxnard. We had met at the gym in Oxnard, and we were meeting about him signing me and then signing with Golden Boy, and that's when I got the name there, Profesor. When I had walked into the gym, his ex-assistant coach, Donald. Yeah. He seen me wearing glasses and a collared shirt, some Sperry's and some jeans, and he looked at me and asked if I'm a fighter, and I said, yeah, I'm a fighter, and he goes, you look like you could be like a professor or a teacher. And ever since then, the Professor has stuck with me. Everybody started laughing and stuff. It was a funny moment.
It stuck with you. Did you say some Sperry's?
Yeah, like some Sperry's.
Sperry's topsiders?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what do you know about those, youngster? That's some old school stuff right there, man. Those without the socks, the Tigra shirt. Would you come in with some Ray-Bans? Take it back, huh? That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, man. Hey, listen, man. What are your long-time goals and what are your long-time plans? How do you want to be remembered in this sport? And I know your career has just begun.
Yeah, I just want to be remembered as one of the greats. I want to be considered as one of the greats when I finish my career, like Mike Tyson, like Finito Lopez, like Michael Carbajal, Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo. I just want to be remembered as a great fighter and leave a good legacy.
Well, speaking of good legacy, man, I mean, hey, you mentioned Oscar De La Hoya, man. I mean, you're with Golden Boy. How was that,
yes,
knowing that as soon as you got signed with Golden Boy, what exactly did they promise? What did they say about your career? And look where you're at now. As if to say, okay, you're going to be a future champ. You signed with us. How did that conversation go when you first signed with him?
Yeah, since the beginning, we talked about, this moment of me being a world champion. Me and everybody at Golden Boy, they believed in me. They gave me the opportunity, and they stuck behind me 100%. And now look, now they have a world champion.
That's right.
I thank them for all the support and the opportunity for believing in me.
Hey man, and you know what? You know what you got, man. What a lot of people don't get, my man. And you got it, and you hit a home run with it. And I'm talking about that opportunity, and you made good on it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And not everybody gets the opportunity to fight for a world title. So right when they told me, I didn't hesitate. I said yes right away. And I knew that I belonged at the top. And now I have the world title.
Did you ask, okay, who's it against, or you just said, yeah, I'll take it?
Yeah. I didn't even ask who it was. I just said, let's do it.
And there you go. That's a great attitude, man. And then Robert knew that you have the tools and have the tools to continue to hold on to that bout and defend it. Now, I want to ask you this, man. Knowing that you're a champion now, knowing that your family knows what you're capable of, what's next for your brother, Bam? I mean, the fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree, man. Iron sharpens iron, that brotherly love, man. What's on his agenda? What's in the road ahead for Bam?
I know Robert has big things planned for my brother Bam. Right now he's ranked at number 3 in the WBA, and I believe the WBO as well. So, he'll be getting his opportunity soon. I tell him just to stay focused, keep working, because that call can come at any time. But, hopefully he'll get back in the ring, sometime in August.
There you go. Man, check this out, man. I mean, you've had more interviews in 1 week than you have your whole career. Anybody and everybody, you're a guest on their show. I know you're going to be coming on some other shows soon. You've been coming on some other shows, man. I mean, how does that make you feel knowing that, wow, I mean, people are starting to recognize and people want to hear my story? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. I dreamed about this moment since I turned pro. So to actually be experienced all this stuff, it feels good. Especially, having my family here supporting me as well. It's a good feeling.
Man, what's the funniest thing that has ever happened to you, man, in your training camp or in your dressing room? This is one of the questions coming in from one of the fans.
Funniest moment, like in training camp, it would have to be, just like there's a lot of funny moments, with all the guys that we have singing in the house. Everybody's they like to joke around with each other, and there's always funny moments in the camp house.
How's the food in there, man? Who's your cook?
Chef Chan cooks for us, and his mother cooks for us as well. So right now he's the main one that cooks for us in the camp, and he cooks very good food, and he has our diet right. He knows what to give us. He has all the experience too. So it's great having him in the camp.
And it's like having that good fuel, man, that good gasoline. You don't put that cheap gas in your car because you're a Ferrari now, man. You got a belt, so everything's top notch. We're not working at home in the garage. Everything's getting turned into that commercial garage, man. That top notch stuff. Knowing that everything you put in your body, man, is for the next day for you to be stronger, faster, quicker, and more focused.
Yes, sir. Of course, you gotta in training camp. You gotta be eating the right foods, be putting the right, the stuff in your body, and everything will work out in the end.
So listen, man, has your manager been calling you lately? Has he been saying, hey, man, it's time for some endorsements? Has anybody been interested in saying, okay, I want to sponsor this kid? Because that's coming next, man.
Nah, not yet. Well, Robert, my manager, and I already talked to Robert, since the fight, but I hope to talk to him soon.
Man, I watched that video. I don't know if you had time to watch it, but leading up there, you had all the champions wishing you well. You had Mikey Garcia. You had Jose Ramirez, Bam Bam Rios, all of them, Fernando Vargas, all the champions that come out of Robert Garcia's boxing academy, all the big dogs, all the big names, man, they were wishing you well before your fight, man. I saw that video, and that's motivating, man. Did you get a chance to watch that? And if so, how much did it motivate you going into that fight?
Yes, of course. I saw it on. I had took a nap. I woke up on Instagram. I woke up to it, and it made me feel really good. It gave me the extra motivation. It just made me feel good. That the champions, they were actually giving me a shout out, and wishing me luck. Even Oscar De La Hoya had gave me a shout out before the fight. You know, I had a lot of support, and you know, it just gave me that extra motivation.
Hey man, what's it like having Oscar De La Hoya as a boss?
You know, it's a blessing. Growing up, watching all his fights, and you know, looking up to him as a kid, it's a blessing to be under his promotions.
It is, man, and you know he reinvented himself after the fight game. And I will say this: his career, win, lose, or draw, he fought everybody in his era. The only one I didn't see him get in the ring was Costa Azul, but everybody else from different weight classes, man, he went in there, strapped it on, and let it go.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. You know, giving the fans the fights they want to see, believing in yourself, and believing in that you belong. That's you know, great. At the top, all the great fighters.
No, I agree with you, man. Now listen, okay, you're gonna save. You're gonna take your family out to dinner. Mike's going on and off. You're gonna take your family out to dinner. There has to be a pair of shoes or a watch or a bottle of cologne that's just, you know, it's on your mind, man. You gotta go get it, man. You worked hard. What's it gonna be? What are you gonna splurge on? This is a question coming in from some of your fans.
You know, I like sometimes.
You like what? What was that?
I like buying shoes, so I might buy myself a couple pair of shoes, and you know, that's all I'll give myself. But that's about it. I'm not really the watches or you know anything like that.
Hey man, I know there's a special package going your way. Did that arrive yet? Did you get to your destination yet? Did you get to your house yet? Josh? Okay, let me see. Lost him and got him. Let's get him back on. Are you there, Joshua? Champ, are you there?
I had to take call.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. Hey, I lost you. I said, did that package arrive yet? There was supposed to be a package coming your way. Did that arrive yet?
Yes, I got to get the from your okay.
Man, I got to see that pic with the belt, my man. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I got in. I'm waiting for the belt.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, yeah, waiting for the belt to come.
There you go.
I shoot one.
That's right. Yeah, we'll let the whole world see that thing, man, especially that brand new belt you got coming your way, man, with your name engraved on it, and comes with a nice briefcase, man. And I mean, I wish we didn't have this coronavirus, man, because it's time for you to go on a little tour, man. I mean, go to these schools and talk to these kids and be a big influence and a role model in their life. Is that something that you feel comfortable doing, being that role model for these kids?
Yes, sir. Not be like buddy, you know, want to be another. So first of all, I was doing that, and you know, I was talking to kids, knowing that that any people are going to do.
Okay, sorry about that. You were kind of cutting in and out. I guess that was a bad connection. Let me ask you this. We're going to change it up just a little bit right here, man. Knowing that you are the champion, man, that you worked hard for what you have, how is it going to change you as far as making decisions now in your life? Because you can't just make those decisions unrationally. You just say, okay, yeah, I'll do that. You have that responsibility now because you are a world champion. Are you ready to take on that crown, that new title of being that role model that a lot of people don't want to be, but in your walk, you seem to embrace it because you want to give back, and you want to touch lives. Are you ready to hold on to that title of being a role model in your city, your town?
Yes, sir. Of course. You know, I mean, I grew up, you know, looking up to different, you know, different fighters, different people, and you know, to be one of those people, you know, to have a world title and be a role model for kids or you know for anybody, it's a great feeling, and you know, I am willing to be a role model for the kids.
Now, I want you to think back. What influence did a certain fighter or a certain somebody have on your life and in your boxing career? Something they may have said or did, or you just watched them doing. What fighter was it, or what trainer, or what person was that made a positive influence in your life?
I would say my friend Marquez.
I'm sorry.
You know, I had the.
I'm sorry, you're coming in and out. Who would you say that was?
I've always watched him. You know, the fights at home. You know, all the what he had, or not in the morning, you know, I would go come in and tell you what he was. I remember, you know, I was a kid. He was cool. And, you know, just I had up to.
Okay, champ. It's a very bad connection, that last paragraph that we had, that last couple sentences, and I don't know if it's the movement, if it's the location, or the coronavirus is trying to sting us, man. But we're in that 10th round, and someone's trying to land the jab on us, so we can't hear each other. Let's try that again, man. Who made an impact in your life?
Yeah, not a big impact on. I was watching him as a kid growing up. You know, I wanted to be like him, get the same haircut, you know, wear the same dress, wear the same clothes that he was wearing. You know, I had just looked up to him when I was, and I remember meeting him as well at a meet and greet, and he was just a humble person, and I just always looked up to him when I was little.
I'm sorry, who was that now?
Fernando Vargas.
Oh yeah. He had that swag, bro. He had that blonde hair, had that little piece right there, and he was down for his, man.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, hey, that's a tough dude, man. I remember the last time I spoke to him at a Garcia Promotions event, and he was there, and I gave him a partial hug, and I'm going to be honest with you, man, it was like hugging a brick wall, man. I mean, that dude is solid. Yeah, that's a strong dude, man. Goes to church every Sunday. I was sending out scriptures and stuff, man, and how life has changed him. He's very humble. He's a family man, and, you know, he's training his son, Fernando Jr., and he has a young, promising career as well.
Yeah, no, you're right. With the country out there, I feel like that. They'll have a picture.
Here's another question, okay? I know we talked about this already. How do you see yourself doing with German Cajas in the middle of the fight after 6 rounds? Where do you see yourself after 6 rounds with German Cajas?
Well, you know, I feel for him that, you know, I'm gonna fight. I'm just after rounds. I feel like I'll keep picking it up. You know, I'm trying to get on with, you know, I start getting.
Yeah. Hey, this is what I'm gonna do, my man. I hate to do this because it's coming out very gibberish right here. I'm going to hang up this phone and I'm going to call you right back. Maybe it'll be a stronger connection because I got a list of questions that are just coming in like crazy. I'm going to do it right now. Okay. Let's try this again. Got to get my man clear.
Hello?
Domino's Pizza, can I help you? What's up, champ? How we doing? How we doing, man?
Can you hear?
Oh, that's clear, man. That's a lot better, my man.
All right.
Shoot, we should get Domino's to sponsor us, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, let me ask you this, man. I'm gonna ask you this because I got some other questions for you. Has mom and dad changed at all, or are you still the same? Even though you're a champion or not, you're still mama's little boy, man. You're still Pops' son. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. You know, like you said, I'm always gonna be, you know, mama's boy, daddy's boy. You know. Yeah, and same thing. You know, I respect them. You know, even if, you know, they tell me to do certain things, I still listen to them. You know, it's still the same.
Hey, mijo, help me bring the groceries inside. You can bring the belt with you. You can bring the belt with you, but you're still gonna help me unload these groceries, right?
Yeah, wash the dishes, you know, everything, clean the house, everything.
Hey, that's right. Hey, just when you're sweeping that floor, man, just wear that belt with you anyways, right?
Yeah, you're right. More for motivation.
There you go, man. Now, there's nothing wrong with listening to mom and dad and keeping your feet on the ground, man. I see you with a long career. I mean, you're humble. You continue to work hard. This success hasn't changed you, hasn't even really set in on you, and you're doing the right things, man, and you're taking every interview that comes your way. That's great for marketing, and that's great for exposure, and you're doing the things that you need to do to market yourself and be that people's champion, man. I mean, here at the Fighter's Voice, we're proud of you, and I've always known that you had what it takes, man. I was surprised that you got that call that quickly for the belt, And I knew going into that it was going to be a tough fight. And as the fight was progressing, man, I mean, you started getting stronger and letting your hands go, man. I just want to let you know that that's coming from me, myself, personally.
Thank you, bro. Good support, for supporting me, brother. And, thank you for having me on the podcast. Maybe.
Do you have any message you want to leave with all the friends, all your followers, all your supporters here that watch and support you?
Yep. Who supports me, who backs me 100%. You know who you are. Thank you for all the support. And, just continue to support me. It's a new journey. And, I have a lot more to accomplish. Keep supporting me, and, it's just the beginning.
Now, I know you're a boxing fan, of course. Do you ever at all, do you watch any other entertainment? I'm talking about, do you watch UFC at all? Are you a baseball fan, football? What else do you like to do and watch on your free time?
Well, if there's not boxing, then, I'll probably go on some UFC, watch, some of those guys go at it, but I don't really watch, anything, no basketball, no football, unless it's the Spurs in the playoffs or something. That's the only time I watch, basketball.
There you go. Hey, here's a quick question. It's coming in from our co-host, Escovedo. He's a UFC veteran. What was it like living inside of that bubble and at top rank at the MGM Grand? What were the rules? What were the do's and the don'ts? What did they have you do, and how long did they lock you guys down as far as not being able to leave your hotel?
Yeah, well, you're on one floor the whole time, and every day you get tested. You get tested before around bedtime, so once you get tested, you go in your room and you can't come out anymore until the next morning. If you don't get a call saying that you test positive, then you're good to go. But it's not as strict as people make it seem. You still get to walk around. That one floor you could go to your team room or whatever. But once you get tested at night and you go into your room, you can't come back out. And you can't go in to the main lobby at the MGM. You got to go another way. Security takes you everywhere. But it's not as strict as people make it seem. It wasn't that bad.
So the restrictions weren't that strong. I mean, it didn't play an effect on you mentally. Of course not. I mean, you won the fight, but what did you do to keep yourself occupied during that downtime?
I was just sleeping a lot. I was doing a lot of sleeping, a lot of resting, and watching movies, watching TV, and just pretty much that's it. Just trying to keep myself busy and keep my mind going.
There you go. Here's another question coming in from a fan. I see him all the time and he's wearing glasses. How does he make the transition from when he's fighting? Does he wear contact lenses, or he doesn't use his glasses, or his vision's okay once he's in the ring?
Yeah, I just can't see from far away. But when I'm up close, I have no problem seeing. Especially if it's a person, I won't have a problem, seeing anything.
So what are the rules in the ring? Are you allowed to wear contacts if you need to, or you're not allowed to?
I don't think you're allowed to, but I've never wore contacts or even tried to wear contacts. So I mean, it's not a big deal. I just can't see from far away.
Yeah, but you can see close enough to land that right hand and that body shot, right?
Yeah.
So how are we going to spice up the next fight, the next wardrobe, man? I mean, because your wardrobe was on hit. It was blasting. And now that you're a champion, man, you got to come in with something special. I know it's still early, but what are we thinking about next time? What song are we coming in? What colors are we coming in with? These are questions that are coming in for you.
I don't know, but, I like you said, it has to look good. You look good, you feel good. So, my next wardrobe is going to be even better than my last one. So, we'll see what's in the works for that.
There you go. Now, here's another question. It's kind of a personal question. It says, ask him, is there a special someone in his life? Is he married? Does he have a girlfriend? Or is he in a relationship right now?
Yeah, I'm in a relationship. I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend for, going on 11 years now, since we were high school freshmen till now. So she's stuck by me since I was a little kid, and to this day we're still together.
Wow, that's loyalty, man. Congratulations on that. I mean, that's rare nowadays, man. That's a good thing, man.
Yeah.
That's a good mark and an incentive as a man and being that role model, man. That's a great testimony right there, man. Not a lot of men can say that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, to have her in my life, and thank God, everything's good.
Well, I'm going to ask you, what was that conversation like? Once you got to see her, was she proud of you, of course, and just I did it? What was the whole excitement about that whole moment?
Yeah, she was really proud of me. She was happy that I was telling her that that I was confident going into the fight and that I was going to win. And she said that that she knew I was going to do it, and she was just really proud of me. So it felt good, to have her there as well.
There you go, man. Now, I mean, let's break down what you did. First of all, you went into top-ranked territory. You took the opportunity, their backyard, their show, everything. Golden Boy fighter. And you came out victorious. You came in, and you left with that WBA belt. I mean, what you did is unheard of, man. I mean, you could put yourself and say it was a miracle because you went out and you said it, you got it done. Bro, you were an underdog going in. Let's state the facts. And you left with that belt, man. I mean, this is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, going into the fight, like I said, I had left everything, in training. I trained hard so that, going into the fight, I had no doubts in myself. I was just really confident, and I didn't care where I was. I was at a top-ranked show. I didn't care who I was fighting. I had no fear going into the fight, and I knew what I was going to do, and I did that.
And Top Rank has a lot of love for you too, man. I know I've talked to a lot of people that have worked there, man, and they go, man, I'm high on this kid. They go, I like this kid.
Oh yeah, that's good to hear. Coming from a promoter like Top Rank, and I had to thank them as well for giving me the shot, to fight against one of their fighters, and everything worked out great.
And you know what? Whenever they need a fighter, all they got to do is call Robert. I mean, Robert has them all shapes and sizes, and his guys are ready. He don't just stick them out there, man. He makes sure they're ready.
Yeah, everybody in the gym is talented. That's where all the hard work is put in. We have nothing but talent in the gym. So, like you said, whatever weight that we have, they're ready to go. They're ready in shape. We know what we have at the gym.
What's it like working out with Jose Ramirez just on the side of you, and Mikey Garcia on the side of you, Virgil Ortiz, who's another stablemate, got a big fight coming up, I believe it's July 8th for Golden Boy's first fight back. What's it like working side by side with these gladiators, these champions, and these potential world champions?
It feels good having them, by my side, and they even gave me some tips going into the fight, some motivation. I was working with Jose Ramirez alongside with Charles. We would do the strength and conditioning together. And, it's just great having them in the gym, them being world champions, Mikey multiple weight, divisions. They just unified it with his belt. It was great having them in the gym. And, Virgil Ortiz as well. He's one of the hardest workers in the gym. And, we kind of grew up together, from Texas. We used to spar each other a lot when we were little. And, I'm looking forward to his fight July 24th. I think he's fighting against, a tough fighter and Vargas. And, Virgil's going to get the job done. He's going to look good like always.
Yeah, I stand corrected. July 24th. I said the 8th. Now, okay, you felt good working side by side with them. Now, these guys, I'm going to ask them later on, what's it like working alongside with Joshua, man, who's the WBA junior bantamweight champion of the world? So iron sharpens iron in there. That's what I've been telling Robert forever.
Of course, we all work hard and we all push each other in the gym and strength and conditioning. It's all a team. It's teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. So having all of those great fighters and hard workers in the gym, it pays off, and it gives you that extra push.
I'm going to put the promoter's hat on you, man, and the dream matchmaker's hat on you, man. Who would you like to see Mikey share the ring with if you had your choice? Give me two fighters that are within reach and within reason of a big fight with Mikey Garcia.
I would have to say Mattel again.
What two are those? Okay. My man, you were cutting in and out. I don't know, during the conversation, if you're going outside and mowing the lawn or you're just chilling, trying to stop the ice cream man or something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's perfect now.
All right. Yeah, I said Manny Pacquiao or Danny Garcia. I feel like those are two great fights from. that's the fight I don't want to see.
Yeah, those would be two good fights right there. So what's it like working alongside with Jose Ramirez? He has a big fight coming up because it's been put off a couple times, and now I believe the date is set for August, man. Working alongside with Jose, what's his whole mindset going into training camp?
Oh, when he's in training camp, he has a whole different mindset. He's focused. He has a goal in his head, and working with him, he motivates you and he pushes you. You see how strong he works, and you want to be, working as strong as him. And it's just great, working alongside with him.
Yeah, and a big shout out to Charles Tremblay, man, is doing a great job with you guys. The conditioning, you guys are just following along and getting faster and getting stronger. And tell us, how much of an impact have those workouts, those speed and agility? How much has it made an impact in your career? Do you feel the effects? Do you feel the strength?
Yeah, I feel stronger working with Charles. He's a great strength and conditioning coach. He knows what he's doing. So I'm very confident in Charles's work, and he pushes us to the limit. Like never before. And he's just a great coach, and he's always just having us in tip-top shape.
Okay, I don't know if you can answer this right here, but a question came in right here from Madera. When are we going to see Brian Lua back in the ring, and what weight will he be fighting at?
Hopefully soon. Brian's been working hard in the gym. He's always looking great in sparring. He's in great shape, so hopefully we can see him back in the ring soon. And I know he was working hard, so I hope he gets the opportunity to fight again soon.
There you are, man. When you're in the gym, and I know you guys keep your distance, and you guys have been practicing everything, following directions, the rules of what's been mandated. How much of an impact has it made on you as far as usually having a whole gym that's just full of everybody working out and knowing that it's kind of isolated? Has it been a plus to you, or a negative, or you're still getting used to it?
Oh no, it's good, that we have a private gym, so all of the talent, all the pro fighters that we have there, working hard with each other, it's good. And I know they have like the kid classes at nighttime, so it's a busy gym, but it's also private, so that's good, so with all this Corona stuff, we don't have to shut it down and stuff like that.
There you go. So when you're not fighting, you're not training, what do you like to do on your own time, on your free time? What hobbies do you have? What likes do you have? What do you like to do besides boxing?
Oh, I just like to, just chill and just enjoy time with my family. Like I'm always at my mom's house, spending time with my mom and my brothers, or, with my girlfriend, with my dad. Just always spending time with my family, and trying to enjoy the family while I can. Because sometimes I'm not here for a long time, and sometimes I have to go back to camp, ASAP. So, I'm just mostly spending time with my family, whenever I can.
So when you're not in camp and you're not training and you're not dieting, what's your favorite meal to eat besides tortillas?
Like burgers, pizza, anything that tastes good, I'll eat. I've been eating a lot, since the fight, and I just can't stop eating. So I eat everything. I eat, sweets, burgers, pizza, everything.
What is it that you just can't be without, man? I mean, it's just your favorite. You got to get it every other day, or if it's possible, man, you just got to have it. What is it? Something sweet or like a burger? What is it? What restaurant is it?
I would say like donuts or pan dulce, something, something sweet. I always gotta, every time I eat a burger or something, I always gotta have something sweet after. So
you said that
I would
pan
have to
dulce.
say, sweets.
Hey, pan dulce is good, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah.
See, a lot of people, they don't know what time it is when it comes to pan dulce. Sweet bread. They'll say, "Oh, I had to take a Danish or a roll." Hey, let's get one out of that white van. Let's get some pan dulce, some real stuff right there, and go to town on it. You know that bag, that white bag.
Yeah.
And then
that's how you know.
Exactly. And the best one's always in the bottom, man. You got to reach your hand all the way down there, man. And in doing so, you're breaking all pieces, but you got to get that good one.
That's true. That's true.
So here's a question about the house that you're living in during training camp. When that happens, man, how many fighters you got living in there at once, and how many are preparing for fights, or are you just all training and have different fight dates?
Yeah, most of the time, well, sometimes it depends. Sometimes there's only like a few of us. Sometimes, the house is full. It all depends. Everybody has different dates. Sometimes, people leave and there's more space and stuff. But most of the time, everybody has different dates. Everybody's just, working, and for the same goal.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, rooting for each other, cheering each other on, and being happy for one another.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, here's a good question. What's it like? Okay, what's it like sparring with your brother, and would you ever share the ring with him?
Nah, I would never share the ring with my brother, but when we used to spar a while back, we used to let each other's anger out on each other, in the ring and sparring, just get all the problems out the way. But now that that we spar, really just work with each other and
there you go.
Try to show each other different ideas and different moves. So it's great, having him, having my brother that also fights.
What all-time fighter did you ever try to mimic his style? You mentioned Fernando Vargas earlier, but a technical fighter out there. Which fighter did you watch back in the day?
I would say like James Toney, Mikey Garcia, Benito Lopez. I like to watch different fighters and still different ideas, different moves from each fighter. Put it to my own style. I don't really try to mimic a certain fighter. I just like to, get different ideas from different fighters and put it all in one.
No, there you go. James Toney, a very smart fighter, underrated fighter, defensive fighter. He would slip punches. Actually had like a small little head, but he would tag you, man, with some power, man. I mean, James Toney, very smart, especially at the end of his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give him a lot of props. So,
yes, sir.
Here's another question. In high school, did you play baseball? Did you play soccer, cross country? What did you do, or were you always a boxer?
I played baseball when I was a kid. When I was about 10 years old, I played baseball, and then in middle school I tried out for football, but that didn't go good. I'm too small for football, and I barely even got played. I only got played like a couple times out of the whole time I was in football, and that didn't work out for me either. So baseball was good in the beginning when I was a kid, and then football, I tried it out. So that's about it. Other than that, I think boxing was meant for me.
And that's good. When you did play baseball, what number did you wear?
I don't even remember. I think it was like number 11 or number 10, something like that. I forgot.
Yeah, how did I know that? I know. Right. Who's your favorite baseball team, man?
I would say the Texas Rangers.
Oh, yeah,
just
of course,
because
Texas.
I went to go see them play a couple times when I was a kid, too, in Dallas.
Oh, okay. Well, check this out. I mean, too bad we didn't have baseball going on right now, but you keep holding on to that belt, because when baseball opens up, ladies and gentlemen, throwing out the first pitch, we have the WBA Junior Bantamweight Champion of the world, man. Are you ready for that phone call? Can you imagine the honor it would be to throw out the first pitch? Awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool, and I would be up for that for sure.
Or you can even do it at Dodger Stadium when you're staying with Robert.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man, I'm going to let you go, man, because I know you got a whole lot of just some time that you want to spend time with just with your family, because as soon as you got back, man, you've been doing interviews, man. And I asked all these questions from the fans. These are all the fans, and leaving the show, at least they get to know a little something about you. I mean, you do a lot of boxing interviews, and you answer all the boxing questions, and we handle that on top of the show. But here at the Fighter's Voice, man, I wanted people just to get inside of you and know what's inside of you, knowing what makes you tick, how you were growing up. And the more interviews you do, man, the more comfortable you're going to get, and the more lives that you're going to touch just on things that you say. Just like the things Fernando Vargas said that made an impact in your life. There had to be something today that the listeners, the viewers, and the fans that listened to and said, oh, well, I used to play baseball too, or if he could do it, I can do it. So you're touching lives constantly with this platform, man.
Yes, sir, and we could do it again, and I thank you for having me on your show, on your podcast. It was great talking to you, and like I said, we could do it again some other time.
Oh, we're definitely going to do it again, man. I mean, this isn't just a one-hit wonder, man. This is the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters, man. And we're like you. We're simply knocking out the competition, giving everybody a voice and a platform.
Yes, sir. Of course. Like I said, appreciate appreciate all you guys' support. Everybody that tuned in, that's listening, appreciate the support. And thank you to all my fans. And this is just the beginning. Keep supporting me. Like I said, we're barely getting started.
That's right, man. There has to be a special someone out there that you want to recognize. Right now, I'm going to give you the platform. Where can we follow you, and how do we stay in contact with you? The mic is yours.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Profesor Franco, or on Twitter, Joshua Franco _. And just follow me on there. Keep up with my career, and shout out to the Fighters Voice for having me on the podcast, for having me on the show, and for having the time to put me on.
Okay, my man, we're going to close right now, but stay on, because as soon as we get off the air, man, I'm going to just give 10 seconds with you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for tuning in here at the Fighter's Voice. I want to thank our guest, the new WBA Junior Bantamweight Champion of the world, the Professor, Joshua Franco. I want to thank him and his whole family, and thank the entire Golden Boy family, Top Rank for giving him the opportunity, and Robert Garcia for just having that faith and that belief in him. And this is just the beginning. This is only the start on a young, promising career to stardom. There's some big fights ahead. You don't want to miss his career. You want to continue to follow him on Instagram. If you're not a fan, you're a fan now, especially if you got something out of tonight's questionnaire and tonight's podcast. As always, it's a wrap here in Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Never down for the count. It's just another wrap. Thanks for listening to the Fighter's Voice Radio Show. Catch us again next week.
Same when, same how.
And always stay connected to the Fighter's Voice on social media. So, on behalf of special guests and the whole crew right here at the Fighter's Voice Radio Show, saying see ya next week, right here on the Fighter's Voice.